Martin, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to have you here because you have a lot of experience in the IT business. So you've been working professionally for about 25 years on different roles. For the first 20 or so, you worked as a developer, a VP of engineering director, and then you transitioned to being an interim CTO. And this is exactly what we are going to talk about. So there are some differences between interim CTOs and fractional CTOs, and some of the members of our community may not even know what those differences are. So why don't we start on this surface level and first kind of explain them based on your experience. What do you do as the interim CTO?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the invite, Michael. It's happy to be here. It's my first podcast with you. The interim CTO, it is really the situation where the company wants to take you as a CTO, as a full-time CTO, and where you are responsible for strategic, tactical, and operational. And they normally want you for 5 days. Like, okay, you are the replacement of the previous CTO for, let's say, 6 to 9 months. And then normally you help to find a new CTO who is the internal CTO for, let's say, more years. So that the interim is really you are taking completely over the software development or DevOps and the whole tech security topics, and you are there mostly 5 days, sometimes 4 days a week, and this is for me the interim CTO where you take the whole area and normally full time.
Awesome. And you are now working for different clients, software as a service companies. You specialize in cloud transformation. Sometimes you just reorganize the whole department when someone leaves, right? So this is the role of the interim CTO, to reorganize, stabilize things, and then move on to something else, right?
Yes, and also I always try to improve the situation, to improve the status quo, and also bring the organization to the next level, and making the way that the organization as such is better after me. For that, this is I really take care in the way that if this would be my company, how would I say create and improve the whole organization.
Awesome. So then the organization hires some other CTO to replace you as the interim CTO, and they probably get also some fractional CTO just on the side to consult. Is that how it usually works?
I've seen it mostly in the way that you have an interim CTO and the interim CTO with the C-level, with the let's say you are part of the C-level, find through the recruiter, through the headhunter, a new internal CTO. I didn't see that there is, let's say, a combination of interim CTO, fractional CTO. I've seen it mostly in the way that there is a previous CTO, interim CTO, and then a new CTO is found. Or even sometimes, and I had these cases where I helped to reorganize the software as a service company in the way that my duties were redistributed to different roles, like the head of engineering, head of infrastructure security, and sometimes head of product, because CTO, sometimes it's even you are taking even like a CPTO, like taking product and technology as a one role. For that, to come back to the fractional CTO, I've seen it more, and I've also done different also fractional CTO roles. It is and here is also a difference. It's mostly the difference is in time commitment between interim CTO and fractional CTO. It could be 1 to 2 days for one company as a fractional CTO. It could be even some time contingent, like hours contingent on the monthly basis. And then as a fractional CTO, really support more companies in your week and the month. For that, you support maybe 3 companies at the same time. And there you are responsible for some area of this technology organization. And you also mentor and coach a leadership team there, or even a existing CTO.
Awesome.
But this is for me the biggest difference between those roles.
It's interesting how the role evolves. I remember from years ago there was just the internal CTO, and now we have interim CTO, fractional CTO, and maybe there are some other names.
Virtual CTO is also different. I heard also this.
CTO, CTO as a service, probably.
CTO as a service, yes.
Awesome.
CTO on demand. Yeah.
People are very creative. Awesome. What are some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you transitioned from those other leadership roles to being the interim CTO?
You have to be very, very fast in the finding the right clients, or the clients should come to you. We can go also in more details on that, but as an interim CTO, they know that you are for some time from the beginning. They also your teams, they know that let's say you will be there for 6 months. For that, you have to get a credibility in the way that they take you honest. They take you like your feedback honestly, and also not saying, okay, let's having something for 6 months, and after that something new will come. Meaning to get this trust from the beginning that you are here to help and improve, and then you are improving and helping from the day one, and then not that you are, let's say, only for some intermediate, or let's say a step between previous CTO and a new CTO. And very fast in my situations, very fast I had to really get good relationship with. I think it's super important to get super good relationship in C-level, CEO, COO, CMO. There are different roles because you are part of the C-level responsibility. But what is definitely critical, to gain a trust very fast with your team members, because then they see you in the beginning a little bit like completely new, maybe even they were connected with the previous CTO, for that they can see you in the beginning a little bit as an enemy. And it's not so easy. It's a lot of empathy, a lot of also like showing what was done before, and show the team members and your team and your leadership team that you are here to help, and that we do it together as a team. And this is crucial, and this has to happen in the first 1 to 2 weeks. This is very crucial.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting how you say it, because a lot of people may see the role of a CTO as something really technical, right? It's a technology role, but what you describe is more into psychology, communication, emotional intelligence, and probably negotiation, kind of, bribing people internally. I mean, legally, of course. I mean, like, hey, do this and I'll be kind to you, something like this.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot, you cannot change technology in 2 weeks, but if you don't gain the trust and relationship with people which will work for next months, then you cannot be successful there. But that I see it more first from the human perspective than technology, and I think the most of the projects are actually failing because of the not communicating, not trusting each other than technology. I think we have very good technologies also with the cloud, with also what is involving in the cloud and and other technologies, not Java, Node.js or others. It is quite stable and a good technology, but let's say working with people, it's always I would say it's a bigger challenge.
And I think this is a very important takeaway for everyone listening, because I was talking to one CTO just the other day, and he's like, oh yeah, I like technology. I want to do more of it, probably even for more companies at the same time as the fractional or interim CTO. But based on what you say, it's actually really different, right? It's less about the technology, because the teams usually have architects, analysts, they have DevOps engineers and everyone. So the technical skill of that fractional CTO is probably not as important based on what you say, and it's more the communication skill, leadership, and so.
It is in order to be able to discuss with the engineers, you have to understand what they are talking about, but you don't need to be the fastest developer. But you have to, from the technology side, you have to have a bright like an overview. You have to know left and right. You have to know about trends. You had to have experience from the past being a developer. I think then it's completely different discussion with the engineer. But that I think this is important. But I don't think that you were hired to as a CTO to, let's say, to do all the let's say new architectures only by yourself, but as a team, you give directions on the architecture, you challenge the architecture, but I think it's important to gain the trust, but also to use the knowledge which is inside of the organization. And if there is some missing expertise, then either you cover this yourself by your expertise, or from a network for some specific topics. I like also to work with somebody additional, which I know that when I know for the specific topics, actually I have always 1, 2, 3 people which I know that they can deliver together with us. For that, I think it's more complex than only technology.
Interesting. And you also mentioned the learning side of things, that it's important to understand the technologies and tools. Like, how do you stay on top of everything? Because there is so much that is going on across the different tools and technologies and cloud and everything. Like, maybe we could even break it down to how much time do you dedicate per week, and also what are some ways for you to acquire this new knowledge?
Yeah, I didn't calculate this on the percentage side. It's it's always learning is important overall. It's for me, it's like continuous growing. It's a key for me. It's for that also. I do interim CTO and fractional CTO roles because you are really challenged every day. For that, I see it a little bit as this is also learning, but also kind of adrenaline, because you have to be, quite fast and finding the right patterns quite soon. And in the learning, I review tech radars. I review if there is like the specific topics, like there is a lot of happening in AI, then I acquires and test myself a lot of let's say tools, but also a lot of readings in this area. I also interact with other fractional CTO, interim CTOs on very regular basis because I don't see this as a competition. I see it as a community.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the, let's say when you come to a new projects, then there is a lot of learning, a lot of reading, which you have to understand. You have to understand business, you have to understand technology, you have to understand the organization. But that is really continuous learning in the projects. For that, there is no, for me, there is no silver bullet, but it's I would say, proper prioritization, and also what is the most important on the technology side, and maybe even on the business side for this specific project, and then focus on this topic, because you cannot get everything. It's too much. It's like we are overloaded with data and information.
Yeah, so true. There is so much happening around us. And you mentioned that you need to get new clients every now and then, every 6 months probably, or every 12 months. So is it hard to get those clients, or what's the situation on the market these days?
Yeah, I would say it is harder than it was 3 years back. I've seen it last year, 23. I would say from April to September was quite, I would say market was quite empty, or very complicated. It started to pick up in September, and I would say until now, I think the situation is it's better, improved, but it's definitely not as so good as 3 years back. Companies are more careful. There are a lot of cost cuttings. There is before like some reorganization happening, then it's the companies will think twice or 3 times before deciding. And regarding like getting new clients, it's also depending on for which role. For interim CTO and for fractional CTO is also different, let's say different sources. For interim CTO, it is more, it's working with headhunters, recruiters, and LinkedIn. This is actually it's working quite well, but it's also investment on my side, and I invest quite a lot in LinkedIn every week. I mean, at least one post a week. I'm starting also doing more videos, also podcast and videos. For that, happy to be here. And fractional CTO is more. I have good network of the recruiters and headhunters. They say like they are not getting requests to find fractional CTOs or even other fractional C levels. It is really a purely recommendation business and network. For that, somebody say, hey, I need a fractional CTO sometimes tomorrow or on Monday. And then it is more the who knows somebody, and then you will get let's say you will be recommended, and you will then get a call. But that fractional is a little bit different to interim CTO.
This is very interesting now with everything that's going on with the automated messaging and the AI chatbots and everything.
Yeah.
Even automated sales calls. Yet here you are saying that what brings you business is the word of mouth, referrals, networks, and that's probably how it's going to be going forward, because everyone will be soon overloaded with those generated messages, emails, calls, and everything.
Yeah, it's I would say still the trust, the network, like human interaction, meeting in person, and I think you have to still kind of stand out from others. You have to also bring like continuous new content, which is really helpful. You have to bring value, not like on create by whatever ChatGPT. And people wants to see case studies. They want to see, hey, I have this problem. How maybe let's say how I solve it. How what didn't work also. Like be honest. I mean, there is not that everything is working like we all wish. But I think this lesson learned are critical, and you have to bring value, and this has to be real value, and not like, hey, search for the keywords and then generate kind of a LinkedIn post or something on Instagram, on Facebook, which let's say could help you because of keywords. I always see it as a bringing value first.
Yeah, that's actually a great takeaway, especially for these consulting or consultative roles, such as the fractional CTO or the interim CTO for this sake. Awesome. So it's not easy, but you've been doing it for 5 years. So now you must have some valuable network, and you specialize in the German market, right? That's where you operate.
Yes.
So there may not be even that many fractional CTOs, right? That you actually compete with effectively.
Yeah, the fractional CTO is coming more from the US startups, and I think it's quite well established in UK. In Germany, there's not so many. I would say even the fractional CTOs, they do it everything in English. I specifically changed to communicate only in German on my LinkedIn and in my communication. I have still LinkedIn in English and German, but I communicate posts only in German. And yeah, let's see if it's something. I mean, it's A/B testing. You can do it for the future, but for now, I would keep German. It's not my native language, but I think most of the clients and the decision makers in Germany, they speak perfect English, but still they want to. It's easier for them to speak in native German.
Mm-hmm.
For that, they kind of you have, I would say, one plus once you speak in their native language.
It's really interesting because when someone is here in Slovakia, where I'm based, and the person is not native Slovak, and the person tries to speak Slovak, and I see that he's not a Slovak guy, I like to just switch to English because in my mind, I like, hey, you seem to be, trying hard, but, it seems to be difficult for you. Let's switch to English. But in Germany, I guess it works differently,
I mean, I think everybody likes to see it, and I think also because I'm in Germany, I'm based in Munich since 2000. For that, I would say my German is quite okay. Clear, you can still hear that it's not like native, but I would say it is not like I can like completely fluently communicate in German. And as it's in Germany and also big cities are very international, people are used to, let's say, to have like not only native German, but they like also that you not only try, you really speak with them. And then in the beginning, when you have a few sentences, they see like, okay, he's not native. But after that, they don't think anymore about this.
Yeah.
At least my experience, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So some of the other people who may have great jobs today, they may be also thinking, hey, how do I become a fractional CTO or an interim CTO like Martin here? And you mentioned that it also requires some networking. It requires the presence on LinkedIn. So if you look at your week or month and you estimate how much time you dedicate to business development and sales outreach and prospecting calls and content production, marketing and finance and operations and kind of everything, and how much is really the client work that you can bill, like the billable hours, like what's the split?
I would say 80-20, meaning the best setup for me is if I have Friday for me, and Friday normally in the clients also can kind of are okay-ish to that I'm not there. That for me it's this 80-20. But a lot of when I do completely interim CTO, they really wants to have a 5 days, but for that I have to find this another 20. It can be also even 20 hours a week. Let's say before and after this project. For that, it's then it's after it's the evening, it's morning, and it's weekend. But I really like it. I mean, I really like it to build a own business, be also independent. And I think with each and every project, also my value is growing because I helped already like 15 SaaS companies, and with each and every new projects, I gain knowledge, gain credibility, but also I can recognize the patterns faster, and I think also the I can bring kind of a balance in the organization.
Well, actually, now when you say it, this seems to be a really valuable addition to the team, because a lot of the people in the organization may work for 5, 6, 7 years in the same company, which on one end is great, but they may lack the experience from other companies. And now when everything is changing so often, I mean, that sounds like a great value really for that you can bring to the table.
Yeah, I think so. And I like that say my results and my client speaks for me than I speaking for that. It's mostly I think outcome matters here, and I really want to help, and it's really also nice to see the let's say positive improvements if the teams are growing. This gives me also energy to keep going, and also to you work with the team, and then you create some great results together, and it's definitely always a teamwork.
Nice. And if there is someone in Poland, for example, so someone who is not competing with you in Germany for those interim roles, so let's say someone in Poland, someone who is having a good job, but also being a bit tired with the job itself, and considers a change. It could be a change for the interim CTO or fractional CTO. The person may not even know. I mean, now they know the difference. What would you suggest they do to get a client within, I don't know, 3 months or 6 months?
Yeah, it really depends where they are. If, let's say, the person never did kind of such roles, then having also reach out to people which are doing it already. I also did on LinkedIn, I found people and then said, "Hey, cannot we have chat?" And finding 30 minutes. This is very helpful. Normally people are open. I don't see it as a competition. As I mentioned in the beginning, I see it as a community because there is, I would say, enough projects if you know your value. I think what is working for me is LinkedIn. Sales Navigator, LinkedIn, and reach out specific, make very clear what you want to do, where you are the best, also, which also it's fun for you, and then reach out to people, find out bring some, prepare some text how you want to do it, prepare your a little bit like a bullet points how you want to approach it, and test like with everything, training for that, but don't be afraid, and then sooner or later it will come.
Nice. Well, that's very, very encouraging. I realized that you mentioned LinkedIn, but at the same time, you are in Germany, in Munich, where Xing is actually bigger than LinkedIn, isn't it?
In the past, yes. In the
Mhm.
past, Xing was bigger, but I would say since 3 years, maybe 2 years for sure. Xing is not. They also changed it. They changed a little bit also their strategy, what they want to do it. Xing was before more important in German speaking in DACH. Let's say Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. I would say 3+ years before, maybe 4, was the number one platform was Xing and not LinkedIn. But in the last 2 years, I mean, Xing changed their strategy, and I don't use Xing anymore myself. Also, I closed my business account there. I have still, let's say, my free account. For that, I do only LinkedIn.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting. Well, new tools come and go. So do these business platforms. Interesting.
I think are more LinkedIn is very stable, and I think still growing.
Hmm.
That I don't do Facebook and Instagram yet, and YouTube. I think YouTube is also good to do more, but also, yeah, it's investing more time in video creation. So that my next project would be on parallel to LinkedIn to also create a YouTube channel.
Hmm. Well, days are too short for everything. At some point,
Correct.
you will need to spend only
Yes.
3 days being the CTO and then create videos on LinkedIn. And then it will be 2 days once you add
Yeah,
Instagram.
exactly.
And then
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
1 day when you add Facebook.
Yeah, no. It's and then, yeah, you have to find the right balance, like with
Mm,
everything, is the right approach.
mm,
But I think yeah, LinkedIn is definitely for me
mm.
the number one. There are also options. I spoke even yesterday with Anna, one fractional CTO from Germany, that he's doing mostly, I mean, website and Google Ads.
Mhm.
There are different options.
Yeah, yeah. And do you on LinkedIn rely mostly on inbound traffic? So you create content and you get people come your way, or do you also send messages to prospective leads?
Both. I do every week reach out also, act proactively,
Mhm.
and because of content, people coming back to me, and also the network referrals, direct referrals. I think this is the best.
Hmm.
But every week I reach out to people. Actually, I work with the agency to support me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, the advantage is the limited, or not limited, but smaller market, right? Because if you specialize in being the CTO for the German market in Munich, then there are not that many companies. So over the time, you can connect with pretty much every CEO and other CTO in the region, which is really good for building the network, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do project Germany. I mean, now I have project in Berlin. Before I had in Stuttgart. For that, not only Munich. You
Mhm.
cannot only say, "Hey, I will do only, let's say, Munich," and there are some requests from Switzerland, from Austria. I did some project in Barcelona. For that, but mostly are, let's say, kind of bigger cities in Germany. And I think there is still a quite good market. And I work depends on the CTO side. Let's say interim CTO. My experience was that the CEOs of the software service companies, they want to have me, let's say, 2 days a week on site, meaning with the team, at least in the beginning, and then rest is remote. For fractional CTO, this could be another difference between interim and fractional CTO. I would say fractional CTO is mostly remote, like even 100% remote. Maybe in the workshop, and then you are completely remote. And because otherwise you cannot, then you are only on the road for the fractional CTO. If you have 3 companies, then I don't know, then you have to, for that, it's mostly remote. Fractional CTO is mostly remote.
And can you just clarify if the fractional CTO speaks directly with the internal CTO or with the board or with CEO? Like, who is the counterparty for the fractional CTO?
Yeah, I would say fractional CTO is it's a quite common for private equity. For that, the target group is private equity and CEO. And as a fractional CTO, if there is an internal CTO permanent, then you work very close, mostly as a coach and mentor. And maybe you are preparing M&A activities. You maybe help as a technical due diligence, and then you bring some specific expertise for the project, or for some specific area which the current company or maybe even current CTO cannot cover. Yeah, but I would say your main contacts are even private equities.
Well, this is actually a very interesting takeaway, which a lot of people may not be aware of, that the contact person also for business development is completely different to what you would normally expect.
Yes.
Awesome.
For that, yeah. And I would say most of fractional CTO, maybe you can get the jobs through, maybe if you do some coaching, and then they say, okay, we found out that you could help us in this specific area. And then you, from the coaching, like one-on-one coaching of the CTO, you can get a fractional CTO role.
Okay, so you open the doors with coaching and then get some other contract.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, you provided lots of very interesting insights about how to first navigate this very confusing world of
it is confusing, yes.
internal and fractional CTOs and CTOs on demand and as a service and whatever else comes next year. So before we wrap it up, what is the kind of last final advice or takeaway for fellow CTOs who are going through some career change and they look at the opportunities and they don't know what to do?
Not easy. Work on your trust yourself, understand your value, and work on your, let's say, your self improvements, but as a complete person. Don't think also about business. You are kind of you have to take care about your private life, your health, your stress level. For that, if you are balanced as a person, then it's also much easier to get new clients, because then you are kind of, you are calm. They can feel that, like, okay, it's a like open dialogue. For that, I would say work on yourself as kind of as a product. Yeah, you are the product of yourself, kind of.
Yeah.
For that, yeah, make sure that you know your value, or not value, but also your where are you the best, and what really you are happy to do, because then you do this job much better.
Well, that's a good one, actually.
Don't look on the what is on the market, but what you want to do, and then focus on this topic. Focus on the strength, and improve it.
That's a great one. Very cool, very cool. Okay, and if someone who is listening or watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn or one of those other platforms, if they want to connect with you, what's the best way?
It's definitely LinkedIn, or on the website rusnakconsulting.com. And then we can start the 15-30 minutes strategy call, and going in the next steps and discussions. Happy to discuss, and people reach me out. LinkedIn is the fastest way.
Awesome. I will include the link in the show notes, and also your personal business website.
Yeah.
Personal and business at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. Good. Well, thanks for joining. It was very useful, and I hope to see you soon again.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah. Take care.